That's my cue.
Hey bestie, it's Katie Wasserman. I am a mom, an esthetician, the owner of Flagstaff Skincare Med Spa, and Prickly Bear Skincare, a post-hair removal line. I started Beauty Talk Confessions because honestly, I got tired of how fake the beauty industry can feel. The conversations that happen between wax strips, peels, and facials that no one ever talks about publicly, we are gonna go there. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's peel back the layers, one confession at a time. Welcome to Beauty Talk Confessions, where the secrets come out and the glow gets real. Welcome back to Beauty Talk Confessions. I'm Katie Wasserman. I wanted to take a moment and reflect on my interview with Cindy. That interview was amazing and it really hit home for me. And I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the conversation that Cindy and I had. And as I've been reflecting since our interview, I keep thinking about some of the things that we were talking about. I even found myself thinking about them in the room, and I realized that these topics and her interview was one that was so important, and it really opens up the door. I feel like Cindy hit the mark when she talked about it's all about the skin, but it's not about the skin. And to be honest, in my career, I didn't really understand skincare. I actually started my career in aesthetics, opening up my own salon with waxing. I had gotten my foot in the door after beauty school and I started at some waxing salons. And then when I moved to Northern Arizona, I started working for someone who was new out of school, but also had established herself. And she started her business specifically on facials. And we linked up. I brought waxing on to her business and also was able to learn under her wing her facials and things like that. And so that was my first foot in the door about facials. And learning through somebody who is fresh out of school, there was a very strict protocol on how to move through her facials. We also decided, or she had decided, to invest in a very program-specific facial line and skincare line. And so we actually went out to a training in California. It was a 2-day training on this skincare line, but everything was robotic. Like there was no thinking about it. There was no diagnosing clients. They had a very interesting, consultation. You would have the clients fill out their form. You would look at it. We would actually go over in depth, which I feel like does kind of hit on what me and Cindy were talking about, a little bit about the foundation, especially with acne, where it can show up in your skin if your diet is off, if there's other things that may be fluctuating. And so that was something that we did address and discuss. So they were very structured and it was very systematic. So there was not a lot of thinking. We did touch base on these pinpoints. So it did open the door for me, but it wasn't something that we were able to really digest. For me, all about the skin, but it's not about the skin, really came into play when I opened up my own business and I decided to invest in a natural enzymatic skincare line that had so many options for back bar, you guys. Like it was so overwhelming. When I purchased into this line, they at that time were advancing and they were reestablishing their company. And so it was overwhelming. I, at one point, remember we had I think it was over 70 something products in our back bar, and it was just insane. And this allowed me to really get detailed because the enzymes were so active. It was a little nerve-wracking to do these treatments on clients. However, it really allowed me to get comfortable with communicating with clients what is going on with their skin, what I'm seeing, what is going on internally, why this is showing up in their skin, and really get clear and detailed with each client on the specifics of what's going on. And it allowed me to really learn my clients. Talking about this reminds me of one of my favorite employees I've ever had. She pushed me to be a better trainer, a better person, a better employer. She really opened up my eyes, and she is by far one of the smartest, most amazing estheticians I have ever been able to be around. And truthfully, there was times in my business where she was more knowledgeable about the products because of her knowledge on ingredients. And this girl, you guys, like literally knew ingredients by the back of her hand. She was obsessed with ingredients. And that is one thing, if you are struggling in the industry and you're struggling to get clients, you're struggling to find that connection, I advise taking time to really get detailed and sit down and learn the ingredients of your products. Really go in there and dissect what your products are doing. Take the time to learn about each ingredient, be able to communicate that in layman's terms to your clients of what this is going to be doing, why this is working, and you will be able to literally change someone's skin in such a short period of time by knowing the ingredients and the responses that they have in the skin and being able to give them the best information and provide them with the best products that are going to work with their skin. And so this employee of mine, something that I laugh as I think back on her, she was literally like an encyclopedia for ingredients. However, she was someone who really strived hard to do things the way that my business was set up. This is how she was at her other business. She really was a team player. And because of that, she actually struggled through my training program. And I was trying, at that point, I was a new employer. And so I was figuring out my method of training and how I'm able to train people that maybe receive information different than I'm used to or I receive it. And so this employee, she actually pushed me and I created protocols, you guys. I think there was like 100 protocols that I created. And they literally gave her every single option on what to do with enzymes. And it was such little adjustments. I mean, there were some skincare protocols that had like changing one or two moisturizers in there. And we had these laminated and we were using them on the cart. And I remember walking in one day and she was like, I get it. I don't even need to use these. And the confidence that I saw in her and the connection she had with her clients was amazing. She was able to go in there and literally tell them what was going on in their skin, why this product was working or was not working, what we were going to be doing today with our treatments, what ingredients would be encouraging and improving or working towards their goals as well as their concerns or what is going on in their skin. And she just romanticized with her clients and these ingredients and really created such a success for herself. And she's someone that I look up to. And I, in my moments, even as a business owner and being confident with my clients, I tried to be like her when I was in the room because her sales were astronomical. She was doing more than 70% sales to services ratio, and people were mouthwatering about what she was saying. Anything that this girl told clients, they were believing and they would do, and it was working. And so she wasn't giving them false information or false advertising or false leading them into something that wasn't actually going to work for them. And it's something that I absolutely love because that is what Cindy talks about. And Cindy does this from the start. And that is so important. I found that even at my school, with the love that I had, we were being trained, and I find that most schools are being educated on how to pass state board. There's not this detail on how to connect with clients, how to grow your clientele, how to even start a business or build clientele or work for somebody else and build clientele there. And that comes down to one important thing, and that is going to be seeing your client and seeing your client more than just their skin concerns, seeing them where they are, being a space for them to open up. I find that when we really start listening to the skin and listening to our clients, their concerns, that we're able to give recommendations and we're not feeling like we're salespersons. And that's something I feel is it's a huge boundary that people have in this industry. And it's something that it's challenging. And I even find myself in certain weeks where I am just going at it. I am able to sell every product to every single client. I am vibing so hard. My words are flowing out of my mouth. Things are just working so well. And then the next week, I can't get any products to move. And it is an interesting aspect. And products are one of the most important resources that we have as business owners, we have as estheticians, we have as beauty entrepreneurs. We have the foundation to give our clients products that actually work, products that are going to achieve their results and give their skin what they're needing between treatments. And 80% of your results are going to be coming from your products. And so when you start really listening to your client and you start giving them what they need on more of a detailed plan, you're able to provide them with recommendations that they will agree on. They will see the value in these recommendations versus feeling like you are just selling to them, versus feeling like they are just another number in your chair. If you're listening to this and you're a client or you're someone that enjoys going and getting treatments, you should make sure that you are getting the experience that you deserve. You are going to a provider that doesn't rush you. You're going to a provider that genuinely asks questions, listens. They explain what they're recommending and why they're recommending this. They don't shame your skin and they don't promise overnight miracles. They care about what you're doing at home and they care about the patterns and times and also what you're realistically going to use. Good care feels calm and good care feels detailed. When I am recommending things to my clients, I always ask them, what is their routine? What are they willing to spend on skincare products as we are working together? I like to know this up front. I like to know if they are willing to transition from their products into something that I know works and something that I believe in. And when we create that foundation and that trust and we have this bond, we are able to change their skin. I have seen some amazing transformations. One of my favorite transformations that I have been a part of is a client of mine who actually was introduced to me by her mother. And we had our first consultation through Zoom because she was traveling for school abroad and she had a semester. It was 2 years away, actually. And her skin was just flaring up and it was affecting everything for this girl. She opened up to me that it had affected her weight. It started affecting her sleep. She was stressed out. She didn't feel confident anymore. And she came and saw me on her spring break. We did a more intense treatment, but more important, I put her on a routine of products that she was going to use and started using. And we did one treatment while she was here on her spring break. So she started using some products and she went back to school. And these products literally gave us the foundation when she came back to do more advanced treatments. And within 6 months of her moving back to the US and investing in my treatments, investing in products, her skin changed from cystic acne to having very little breakouts. She literally now, I actually just saw her today and she is lit up. She's a completely different girl than the girl that I saw when I was doing my Zoom consultation. She is active and doing so many other things. She's eating better. She is so conscious and aware of what is going into her body. And it all started because of a concern that she had with her skin. And that's what we're here for. We are not just practitioners to service people and wax them. We are here to really help people understand what is going on in their skin. And that is what I absolutely love about my conversation with Cindy and what she has done with her students and what the integrative esthetician is all about. All right, guys, if you made it all the way through this episode, I'm so grateful that you're here. These solo episodes are really just me sharing what I've learned in this industry and really what I feel like makes a difference in our industry. And I'm so glad that you guys are a part of this journey with me. If there's something that you want to talk about, or if there's something that you would like me to unpack, please send me a message. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for being a part of this space and for listening to today's episode of Beauty Talk Confessions. I wanted to take a moment and recognize our amazing sponsors, Prickly Bear, a desert-curated post-hair removal skincare line with pre- and post-care products created to support healthy skin beyond the treatment room, launching this summer. If this conversation resonated with you, make sure to follow the show and share it with someone in the beauty industry. Staying connected is how we grow, learn, and support each other. You can also follow us on Instagram at Beauty Talk Confessions and Prickly Bear for updates, behind the scenes, and more conversations like this. And if you have a moment, leaving a review helps this podcast reach more people who need this conversation too, and it would mean the world to me. This is Beauty Talk Confessions, and I'll see you next week.